Joining me in studio now, we have Glen Henderson and Shannon Keatley. Shannon, I'm going to have to get up to reach you there.
Hey,
good to have you here. Recently, we had on the radio show. You guys always bring great information on the Point Loma and Ocean Beach marketplace. But you have, how many agents do you guys have now?
We're about 21 total.
21 agents who work together with us.
You cover a wide range of San Diego, but we wanted to bring you in here today to really identify some of kind of the new age strategies of real estate. I know we're talking a lot about marketing, but it's not just marketing, it's videography, staging, some of the things that you have to do now that maybe you didn't have to do in the past, and of course how you can repurpose that. We're in this world now of social media and all that stuff. So great topic to hit on. Before we get into that, what's new in Point Loma and Ocean Beach? How are things going there?
You know what, everything's going great. The year, we're off to a great start with it. Just as we had expected, we've seen a big jump in inventory coming into the new year. Springtime is typically and traditionally the selling
Kurt
season.
Mentioned that as well. Kurt said that Carmel Valley was up 65%. Have you seen that kind of increase?
Not at 65%, but we have seen a big jump, especially since the end of last year when everybody was kind of holding off through the holidays. But yeah, big jump. But the good thing is we're seeing the same increase in buyer activity.
Right.
So the homes that are coming on the market, we're not seeing a big jump in properties just sitting. As long as things are priced right, we're seeing a lot of buyer activity.
There's been a common theme of pricing right. Brian Lewis mentioned that for PB. Kurt Wanaba mentioned it for Carmel Valley. You're mentioning it for Point Loma, Ocean Beach, in the areas that you cover. Do you feel like now more than maybe in the past that people aren't pricing their property accurately because they know it's been a hot market? Case-Shiller report showing 20% appreciation year over year. Are a lot of people going out there and just kind of fishing and seeing what they can get?
Absolutely. We've seen that time and time again where if somebody sees what their neighbor sold last year for and thinks, well, I'll just take that price and go 50% or $50,000 more than the last one.
So what do they do when it doesn't hit? Are these people, because you're working with these sellers, 109 deals last year, just so you know, right here, top 10 in San Diego. I mean, your credentials are unbelievable, but what happens when they don't get the number? Someone's trying to sell a $900,000 house for $1 million because they saw something on the news. Do you typically bring the price down? What do they take the home off the market? I know it's not a one-size-fits-all here, but what typically happens?
We really show them the realities of what's going on in the marketplace. And when Glenn and I go and meet them and talk about pricing, we really narrow down what's really specifically going on in the marketplace as of that day.
Do you usually encourage people to not put the home on the market? Do you ever say, it's not worth it, and they go to another agent? I mean, what happens in those cases?
We do see that. And basically what we say is a lot of realtors do this, and a lot of the unexperienced realtors or the realtors that are so excited to have a deal, we basically will call it they're buying a listing. They'll tell the seller whatever they want to hear, or they'll just tell them, yeah, your home is worth $1 million, it's really worth 900, because they're just so excited they have a listing. Well, it's a disservice to the real estate industry, it's a disservice especially to the client, and it doesn't do anything. And that's why a lot of the time you'll see the expired listings where the seller will go through 2 or 3 agents because they'll, in the beginning, go with the ones that told them what they wanted to hear and promise the world. And then after 1 or 2 times, they realize, you know what, the professionals that came in and talked to me and said, you know what, this is what your home is worth, this is what it's going to sell for, then they start coming back. And it's unfortunate, but it does happen with that. And now more than ever, it's so important that you do price it accurately, because what we were seeing last year when you had 20 buyers coming to every property, things were getting bid up. We don't have that now. There's a lot of buyer activity, but they understand what's happening in the market. And even though there's a lot of activity, they want the homes that are priced accurately.
Well, to begin this year, the first quarter of this year is through now, and we're seeing inventory increase. So that natural just craziness of buying real estate, it slowed a bit because there's more supply. So if you are a real seller, you have to really look at, well, how we just mentioned 900,000, $1 million. Let's use that as an example. Well, let's say that there's a gray area and it's maybe 950. Well, what Glenn and Shannon can do is they can help you get it to the 950 or 960. So they want to get you as much as they can, but you got to be realistic with what's going on in the marketplace. And that's what kind of brings us to the things that you're doing that are very unique to the rest of the marketplace as far as just what I'm calling the new age style of marketing real estate. I mean, years ago it was buy a house, sign in the yard, something cute for the open house, and maybe put a print in the Union Tribune. Now you have social medias, you have videos, I'm sure it's expensive stuff that you have to do to really describe not just the house, but the market. So you guys had some good examples of things you're doing, starting with staging the property. Now, Brian Lewis actually mentioned this as well. How important is that?
Staging is extremely important with getting your home ready, because the other parts we're going to talk about as far as photography, video, everything else, well, if the home doesn't look good to begin with, it doesn't matter how great your photographer is, that's not going to look great and everything else. And statistics say the buyer makes an impression, or makes their first impression and has their first impression of your home within 7 to 10 seconds. So
we got some before and after. As you guys break this down, Shannon, I'd love to have you help us here. Do you think it makes sense to stage the property even if it's not an ugly interior? I mean, if it's a nice house, it's got some nice furniture. Do you guys stage? Let me ask you this: do you stage every property that you take a listing on?
Not every property, but we do have a stager that comes in and recommends certain things. So you might have a house that is full of furniture with that, but if you change around a certain, you put the sofa in a different area, you take a chair out. It's amazing what it can do to open up.
Well, let's look at what you have here. So here's a before and after.
Here's a great photo of that. So you have on the left a home that's, or a room that is just, there's nothing in there. It's dark, it's dreary. You can't really see the potential of it. The after photograph shows the lightness of it with the hardwood floors and everything, and the open windows and the furniture. It just brings a light airiness.
So you guys actually went in there and changed the flooring. That's a pretty big deal. I know we have some more. What else do we have?
Yep.
Okay, they'll pull them up.
Some of the next ones was just showing of rearranging of furniture like we spoke about. There's so many different things that you can do. Here we had on the left a cluttered kind of office type area that was converted into a dining area, which buyers are real interested in seeing for family and everything else.
Buyers ever want to buy the information, not the information, but buy the furniture from the stager?
It happens a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you work that into the deal?
You can ask for anything. Everything's negotiable.
Huh. Okay. Drones. We talked a little bit about that earlier, right? And really just aerial footage. Explain how you guys are leveraging that as a tool with some of the things you're doing, and then we have a video we're going to go to here in just a moment.
Yeah, with the video, video is so important in anything you're doing internet related right now. 93% of buyers are going to the internet before they're reaching out to a realtor. So you want to utilize the newest technology and the newest trends with it. Video is where everything's moving towards with that. There was actually a controlled study that was done, and people were shown videos or homes without a video, and they were watched and looked at the photos. Then they were shown homes that had video tours that they went through. And the perception was this: homes that had video were worth 6% more than the homes that didn't have a video. And this was just a controlled study. It was the same home, but just watching a video gave them that perception that the home was worth more.
One thing you mentioned, though, I don't know if you meant to, but you create the video, but you also put it somewhere. You're putting it out there into the marketplace, as far as not just, again, in the print ad or some of the old school ways, but if I see your posts on Facebook, your Facebook, your Twitter, blogging, Craigslist. There's all these other strategies as well that you guys are doing. But let's take a look at one of these videos.
Hi, Glen Henderson with Alliance Group Real Estate, here at one of our new listings in Pacific Beach. This 5-bedroom, 4.5-bath home was recently built in 2004. When built, every attention to detail was paid. The home is only a few short blocks to the beach. It's 2 stories with a 3rd floor rooftop balcony featuring a large jacuzzi. Let's take a look inside.
So a great video. That's your video, clearly. You post all these videos at alliancegroupre.com. You see a lot of the great stuff you guys have going on, all the tools that you have going on. So the video. What's your thought process around that thing?
So with the video, one of the things too is not only the outside of the property, but depending on how a home's situated, if it has unique views, it's on a cliffside, a hillside, cul-de-sac, you're able to demonstrate the actual property where it's situated in ways that you can't capture with still. And then when you actually get into the home, the same thing. Still photography can only capture just a still fixed position, but when you're able to go in with video, capture the sweeping views, the staircase, which we're demonstrating in this video, different things, it just positions and gives a different, just positions the property in a way that...
Different perspective.
So you guys are combining the internal and external, the interior and exterior of the property. You have the drone flying in, so you guys have that thing going on, and then also showing some of the nicer parts of it, some of your staging.
Yeah,
Might as
some
well
of the
film it.
staging,
Yeah.
exactly with that. And like Glenn was saying too, it gives a different expansive view of what's going on. So people can really pinpoint the location of the property. In comparison, it's one thing looking at a flat map, but when you have the video that comes out and you see that the ocean really is a couple blocks away from it, you see the neighborhood, you see where it is. It's amazing.
What about where you post it? So you have the video. If I'm coming in, I'm looking to buy a house, and I come to a Glen and Shannon open house, and you email me after, that's great, right?
Yep.
But what about the ways that you throw that thing out there? We talked a little bit about social media. What's your strategy there?
Yeah, it's across all the web, and what a lot of people don't know is Google's #1 search engine. Well, #2 is YouTube.
Yeah.
So now we're harnessing both, and we're capturing those buyers on YouTube. Searches.
You guys have probably of all the elite that we bring on, I was actually looking at this morning, you guys probably have the biggest coverage of YouTube that I've seen of anyone that's in our team.
Yeah.
And our team's the best in the market.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I see you guys have a lot of hits, a lot of views on YouTube.
We do, and that's what's important. So we're able to now capture those people that are on YouTube searching and looking at videos. And that's where you want to be positioned if you're a home seller. You want to maximize your exposure. So get into the #2 search engine. Facebook, we utilize Facebook immensely with the video and the marketing of the properties. And it generates interest and it generates traffic with it.
So Mom, Dad, I know you've been reluctant to this social media craze. Even I was, you know, and we're the younger generation. But now I see my mom doing Facebook posts, so I'm sure you could. Well, there's a finite amount of people that can see your property through the traditional ways. There's almost an infinite amount of people that can see it online. And you can get an investor from across the globe to find it online, but they can't necessarily come in town and go to your open house. So let's look at the last strategy here that you guys have of the virtual tour. So this is one of the strategies that you guys leverage with all of your listings. Explain what we're looking at.
Yeah, it's something we've just recently started using. And this is the virtual tour that we're having done for the properties. So it said that there was a survey done, and 75% of buyers would like to see a floor plan of their property before they would go and look at it and get an idea if it actually fits for what their needs are. So we've started using this virtual floor plan. This is a one-stop site that contains the photos, the property tour, everything for our buyers or for our sellers.
Okay, so when you say one-stop site, one stop to the actual listing?
So whatever the property address, 123anystreet.com, whatever it would be.
This is important. So Glenn creates a unique URL for the actual listing.
Exactly.
So where we were just showing the Alliance Group, which every realtor, every company has, you're actually creating a unique URL for the listing. So if you're going to sell your property, they come to you, you're going to create this actual, what we're looking at, the seller's going to get.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
It's going to be a property. Where then you see you have your photos, you have your video tour. Now what's neat about this is the floor plan. So we're in the floor plan section now. So with the floor plan, I don't know if this will scroll up for us, but you can see this is on the first floor, and we're good with this if we want to stay here. But this is the exterior of the home. Here's the floor plan of the first floor with that. Now with all these icons, if you click on an icon, you can actually see where that photo is in the house. And what's neat about this is when you're looking at properties online, you'll see photos of a home, but it's like, wonder how that lays out. That's a weird photo. What does that room actually look like? Well, with this, when you're going through and you're looking at the photos, you see what the floor plan, or how the floor plan lays out. But not only that, you're looking at what that home actually looks like from that position in the home. So
it gives you the vantage point of actually sitting there, standing right in the room and seeing what the view looks like.
No, it's awesome. I think the biggest takeaway for me is that you guys do this for each individual property. Right? It's one thing to have listings on a website. It's another thing to actually customize this for a property. We're out of time here with you here today, but you guys are going to be on the radio show again next week, so we'll talk more about this. We're going to continue being on the American Dream. So great segment. I love what you guys are doing.